This is not a prediction. This is not an assumption. If Real Madrid carry on the way that they are right now, win the Champions League and win La Liga, Jude Bellingham will win the Ballon d'Or. It only makes sense. It only makes sense for this kid to win the Ballon d'Or at the way that he's playing, the level that he's playing at, and for doing what he's doing for the biggest club in the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to MKB. Welcome back to Nono's Ball. And we need to talk about Jude Bellingham. Yeah, I think this kid is unreal. He is honestly unbelievable, and it's crazy to think that he's doing what he's doing at such a young age, at such a massive club, with such a price tag, and he, like, you can really see that he's Bellingham. Like he's him. He's the definition of him. What else do you need from a midfielder than Jude Bellingham? Someone who can play the 6, he can play the 8, he can play the 10, he can play and playing in each and every of those positions at a very high level. And I won't lie, I am one of the people who, I must say, that I was unfamiliar with Jude Bellingham's game. I was unfamiliar, and I did not rate him as highly as I should have rated him. But because now the spotlight's on him and he's performing at this level, I need to put my hands up and be like, you know what? Jude Bellingham is that guy. He is that guy. You know, people thought it was crazy when they retired his number at Birmingham. You know what I'm saying? And then when he left Birmingham, then he went to Borussia Dortmund. You know, that's when eyes were really on him, especially since he's an English player leaving England and going to like a foreign country, right? So him going there to Germany really kind of and honestly speaking, I think that's probably one of the best moves he's made for his career. You know, considering the fact that any other player at this point, especially if you're English, you kind of like more or less want to stay in England, probably try and play for one of the big clubs in England, whether it being a Manchester United, a Liverpool, a Chelsea, and Arsenal. You know, usually that's the type of clubs you will go for to as an English player. But him, as a young player, as a young Englishman, around the age of 17, right, he was like, I want to challenge myself and go abroad. And he went to Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund, a team that is known for developing young talent, a team that is known for producing unbelievable players. And he went there and he developed into such a player. He developed into an amazing player, and the qualities that he's picked up from just being at Dortmund, like the way, eventually, yes, of course, before when he first entered, you know, he wasn't exactly the main man straight from the jump, you know. He was kind of sharing the limelight with the likes of Erling Haaland, the Jadon Sanchos, you know, people like that, right? But then when Jadon Sancho left and Erling Haaland left, and then he was the only person there, he was the one who stepped up. He was the main man. He felt he was the leader of the team. It became his team. It was essentially his team, you know. He was playing unbelievable. He was playing at such an unbelievable level at Dortmund, right? Like the way he would, especially in Champions League nights, in big stages, he was performing week in, week out for them. And then he makes the big move, right? That 90 million or close to like 100 million pounds or whatever the price tag is, moving to Real Madrid, right? Massive shoes to fill in terms of, especially the number he took, being the number 5, the number that belonged to Zinedine Zidane, you know, an icon of the game, right? Taking that number. And considering the price tag, considering the age and the pressure, we know plenty of people who have went to Real Madrid, superstars, right, and have crumbled under the pressure of playing for the biggest club in the world. Like, yes, it's before my time, but you hear of the likes of David Beckham, right? David Beckham was a superstar at Man United, probably the biggest brand in the world. Went to Real Madrid and he suffered and he couldn't chop it. You look at the likes of Michael Owen, right? He won a Ballon d'Or with Liverpool. He was an unbelievable player, one of the best young strikers in the world. Went to Real Madrid, couldn't do it. More recently, you look at someone like Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard was probably one of the best players, if not the best player in the Premier League, like in the stretch that he was in here. He was known as just an unbelievable talent. And when he finally got the move to Real Madrid, donning the number 7, replacing Cristiano Ronaldo, he crumbled under the pressure. He crumbled, and he just couldn't cop it. And so now we're looking at this young kid, this 19-year-old kid, right, joining Real Madrid, and you're thinking to yourself, wearing the number 5, you think to yourself, he's gonna crumble. He's gonna crumble, especially with the fact that he rejected the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City, Man United, all these clubs, you know, in England, and he went to the biggest club in the world. You think to yourself, he's gonna crumble, and The way he's hit the ground running is actually unbelievable. For a 19-year-old kid to join Real Madrid and make that team his own is unbelievable, especially when you consider the amount of talent that is in that Real Madrid team. You look at the likes of Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo. You look at the Fede Valverde, the Chouamenis, the Camavingas. You look at all the talent that is collected in that team, and Jude Bellingham is the one who's standing out. It's crazy what he's doing. It is unbelievable. Like, I cannot fathom it. I cannot fathom how brilliant he's been this season. He's already scored 20 goals from midfield. 20 goals from midfield for Real Madrid. Like, honestly speaking, generally speaking, what's stopping Jude Bellingham from winning the Ballon d'Or this season? Because you think of Real Madrid, right? Real Madrid just slept up 4-0 against Girona, right? The team that's top in the table. They just destroyed them, right? And so they're making their title challenge in terms of La Liga. In Champions League, you know that Real Madrid are always favourites in Champions League. Whether they have the best squad, the worst squad, or anything like that, you know that they're Champions League royalty. They're going to do something in Champions League. That's their bread and butter. That's in their DNA. So you know chances are Jude Bellingham possibly win a Champions League this season. And then obviously Euros are coming up. England are probably one of the favourites to win it. And Jude Bellingham, you know for a fact that he's going to be starting in that team. He's going to be playing in that 10 role. And he's probably going to dominate the way he's been already dominating in a couple of games. So we're looking at this kid now and you're thinking to yourself, whoa, wait a minute. He has all the tools right now to not only win La Liga, not only win the Champions League, possibly win the Euros, but he has all the tools to win the Ballon d'Or. Like, he's probably one of the most favorite people to win the Ballon d'Or this season. And it's crazy to think that he's doing this at the age of 19. At Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world. And I'm pretty sure when Real Madrid first signed Jude Bellingham, they weren't really signing him for goals or anything like that. If anything, he was more of like a future signing, a future prospect where, you know, like, he has the quality to start right now, but you kind of like thinking you still got to mold him into a much better player, and under the guidance of the likes of Toni Kroos, of Luka Modric, you know, still needs the type of guidance to really form and create a world-class midfielder. But already he looks like a world-class midfielder. He is a world-class midfielder right now. He's probably one of the best play, if not the best player in the world right now. That's the form that he's performing at, and it's honestly crazy. And I'm very curious to see where this goes. I'm very curious to see where this goes, because at the level that this kid is playing at right now, it's scary. And to think that you have the likes of Camavinga backing him up, the likes of Chouameni backing him up, you have the likes of Vinicius Jr., you have the likes of Rodrigo. Like, Real Madrid looks scary with this man playing at the 10. So I'm very curious to see where this goes. So this was Mellow Fellow. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment down below and tell me, do you think that Jude Bellingham will win the Ballon d'Or this season? Because the way his man is going right now, I would not be surprised.